Welcome, boys and girls, to yet another installment of Robotnik 35 Plays Random Obscure Crap that literally no one has ever heard of before, episode 3000. In today's action-packed episode, we are going to be checking out some more retro arcade titles, specifically some of the lesser-known and possibly unknown period games developed by Namco throughout the early to mid-80s. Now, one of these obscure arcade games is actually something that I've wanted to cover on the channel for a little while now. It's not the one you're seeing on screen, by the way. It's the one that I'll be playing near the end of the video, but you probably already know what it is, because I'm gonna put it in the title anyway. So with that said, let's just hop into it right away. So the first title we're gonna be reviewing here is called Phozon. Now, Phozon is quite the oddity of a video game. It's another one of those games that's nearly impossible to describe without actually demonstrating, but basically it's a chemistry-themed puzzle game where you control an atom known as the chemic. As the chemic, you need to form various patterns by attaching molecules known as molecs to yourself, all the while attempting to avoid the atomic, which is a giant cluster of atoms, who will try to ambush you at any possible opportunity. It was initially launched in 1983 in Japan, however, it did not make its way overseas until 1996 with the official release of Namco Museum Volume 3 for the PlayStation 1. As a matter of fact, I am actually playing the PS1 version of Phozon, which is why you see the copyright 1983-1996 date on the title screen, as opposed to just 1983. The only difference between the PS1 port and the Japanese arcade release is that the arcade version had some Japanese text that would appear at the beginning of each round. That text has been translated to English in the North American Namco Museum release. Of course, there's also the copyright date revision that I mentioned 2 minutes ago, but other than that, both versions are identical. But the real question you're probably asking is this a good game or not? Is this game worth an investment of your valuable time? Well, personally, I don't think it is. I've played it myself, and for the most part, it's just a boring puzzle game, and the thing is, I really enjoy puzzle games. I mean, I've played so many of them on my channel in the past year alone, and honestly, I was very intrigued by the concept of a chemistry-themed puzzle game, because I had never heard of such a puzzle game before, and the fact that it's chemistry-themed plays right into my wheelhouse, because if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you guys know that I'm into nerdy crap like that, but this game doesn't do anything for me, and I'll try playing it here for a little while, just so I can complain about how much I hate it. Okay, let's get this shit show on the road then. I will admit, that's actually a pretty cool sprite layering effect going on with the atomic there. No sprite flickering or any other sort of weird graphical errors going on with it. It looks really clean. Pretty impressive for 1983, but not really that jaw-dropping by today's standards, so we push the start button, 1 player only. I believe it is possible to play this with 2 players if the score tally is to be believed, and because I am playing the PS1 version of this game, I can just continuously add credits by pressing what I believe is the select button. I don't know, I'm playing this on an emulator, so I'm using the spacebar to insert more credits. Inserting credits has no use in this port of the game, though, because it doesn't change anything. Like, it doesn't award you extra continues or anything, and yes, it is possible to die. This is a puzzle game that does have an element of danger in it. That danger, of course, is the atomic. So how about I go and actually show you the atomic here. So this, right here, is the chemic. As you can see, it already had molecules attached to itself, but then it got ejected for some reason. I have no idea why, because this game doesn't explain jack shit to you. Oh god, that's not what I want to do at all. Yeah, so this is a puzzle game, of course, and what you gotta do is that you have to build the shape that it shows in the center of the screen, which I managed to do right there. So it's a pretty simple shape to build. You get awarded 1,500 bonus points for completing the first round, or as it's called in this game, steps. Build the shape, attack. So at the very beginning of each round, you will get the chance to attack the atomic. Normally you can't, because if he hits the center of your atom or your chemic, you will die instantly. So this is also kind of like classic shoot-'em-up mechanics, somewhat, where if you get hit in the center, then you just die instantly, or you'll only die if you get hit in the center. I believe it is possible for the atomic itself to eject the molecules from the chemic, like it'll deattach them automatically. And yeah, we are on step 3 right here. So what the atomic can do is that he just flies around the screen most of the time. He does try to target you directly though, because he will constantly give chase to you. and sometimes it can be very difficult to predict his movements, especially when when all of the atoms detach themselves like that and they just fly off in all sorts of random directions. It gets increasingly difficult to predict the patterns when that happens. Oh god. Yeah, and you can also eject molecules yourself by pressing, I believe, the A button on the PlayStation 1 controller. If you were just playing this on the arcade, like an arcade system, I believe there is a button that you press, and it'll eject the molecules. Now, you'll also notice at the bottom of the screen that there is a yellow meter, and it's constantly depleting as molecules go by, or as I keep attaching molecules to myself. Yeah, step 3 is actually pretty difficult, because the main problem, like the main issue I have with this game, is that you need to be so precise with your movements here. Like, you need to be really precise with how you attach your molecules. Like, I have to— oh god, okay, that was a little bit too close for comfort. Like, what I have to try and get them right into the center. But that's very difficult to do, because you have to be incredibly precise with it, because the molecules just move around like crazy. Like even their movements are a little bit difficult to predict. Because what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get this molecule to go in the center, but as you can see, it keeps attaching itself to the side. I don't want it to do that. I want it to go into like the middle of those molecules right there, the molecules that are attached on like the bottom right of the screen. So, I might as well also talk about what exactly just happened, because it said stage is not cleared, and then it just restarted. So, the yellow meter at the bottom indicates how many molecules you have remaining. The game only gives you a limited amount of molecules to work with, and if you run out of them, then it'll tell you that the stage has not been cleared, like you haven't cleared the stage, and you'll have to restart it. However, this does not cause you to lose lives. The only way you can lose lives in this game is by getting attacked directly by the atomic. The atomic is the only thing that can actually kill you. If you do end up failing the stage, well, I put failing in air quotes, of course, but if you do end up running out of molecules, like I'm about to yet again— oh my lord, okay, that was way too close. Come over here, damn it, I don't want you to go on the side. Yeah, but if you run out of molecules, then it just restarts the stage instantly. Okay, there, I got it. Holy crap. Yeah, so it just restarts the stage, it resets you to the shape you were previously at, and then you can just try it again. You don't lose a life, you're not penalized for running out of molecules, so it's all good. It's all good. Cool. Alright, sure, that's a word. We're gonna call it a word just for this one night, okay? Sure. And, oh yeah, this is a challenging stage, by the way. So, every third stage, or every 3 stages that you complete, you'll be presented with a challenging stage where you can attack the atomic directly by firing yellow molecules at him. You just have to destroy each one of his atoms. This is kind of like the challenging stages in Galaga, where you have to, like, kill all of the enemies. In this case, the enemies are the individual molecules that comprise the atomic, and yeah, his movements are incredibly spazzy. And usually, if you want to complete the challenging stages, you just mash the A button. You just mash the A button in order to get as many points as possible. Then we go on to World 2. So now we have to build the exact same shape that we saw in Step 3. Now this is pretty cool right here. So these gigantic molecules that are flashing, these molecules will allow you to attack the atomic. Of course, normally you can attack the atomic at the beginning of each individual stage, but sometimes there are these molecules, which I believe are known as power molecules, that will pass by every now and again, and when you collect them, they will allow you to attack. They will allow you to retaliate against the atomic at any time. Oh gee, oh my lord, okay, I don't know how I could have predicted that. Yeah, I should also mention that the atomic has other attacks of his own. He doesn't do like the usual ramming attack where he just tries to ram into you. He can also fire alpha and beta rays. Alpha and beta rays are very deadly because they can cause molecules to become detached from the atomic. Oh my god. They can cause molecules to become detached from the chemic. That's what I was trying to say until I got freaked the hell out again. Oh jeez. Yeah, see, and another problem, yeah, as you can see, I believe it fired an alpha ray right there, either alpha or beta, and it just completely destroyed the molecule that was attached to me, or the molic. I don't know, everything just has incredibly dumb names here. Also, I just realized that the atomic is actually missing an atom. Where exactly did the other one go? Well, it doesn't matter, because I just wrecked you. So, sit down, sir. We're doing this for science here. We're sciencing it up. Oh my god, what shape am I even creating? Yeah, so the shapes get a lot more complicated as the game goes on. The game is not very long, from what I know. I believe there's only about 14 rounds in total. And you'll also notice that you can destroy the atomic outright, but he will regenerate after a while. Yeah, I just realized something. He's missing an atom. He didn't regrow one of his atoms. Okay, I didn't even realize that green one was there. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, that's very strange. Did I break the game or something? Because he's normally supposed to have an additional one in the center. Yeah, but he's not regrowing it now. Isn't there like a yellow one? Where's the yellow one? Okay, cool. I'm breaking shit again, like I normally do. I'm an absolute boss at doing that in video games, it seems. Now, something I should also mention about the power molecules in particular. What am I even creating right now? Holy crap. So you can tell how much energy the power molecules have left remaining because they will begin to shrink after a while. Once they shrink completely, they'll just turn into regular molecs, and you won't be able to attack the atomic. The atomic can actually kill you again. So, basically, they grant you invincibility. Grants you invincibility, and also grants you the ability to attack. Oh my god, it just, like, cut off an entire piece of atoms there. Okay, hang on. I want to go and collect this so I can at least restart the stage without dying. Without dying! Oh my god! Get away from me! Get away from me! Okay, that looks like that hit me directly, but it didn't actually kill me. Okay, go. Stage is not cleared, so I can at least restart. Okay? So I can at least restart. I won't have to worry about dying again. You can go into the center when the atomic is not here. At least I did get a high score. The game gets increasingly more difficult as it goes on, of course, as with literally every other game in existence at this point in time. And sometimes some of the alpha and beta rays that he fires will actually explode into a bunch of blue particles that you need to avoid. Yeah, and I do realize the shape that I'm supposed to be forming right here, but I'm just being an idiot and I'm not even paying attention. Well, I kind of formed it somewhat. Okay, hang on. I need to... Okay, well, this is actually not going to be enough. This isn't going to be enough. Oh, wait. It seems like... Oh, okay, I get it. The blue one explodes. It's the blue atom attached to the atomic that explodes into those tiny particles. Okay, I thought it was, like... I thought it was one of the beta rays that he fired. I mean, it's not like it really matters, but... Yeah, this is pretty much the entire game, guys. This is already, like, the 5th round. Counting the challenging stage, and this just goes on for about 9 more rounds, and then you beat the game. What exactly is the ending to this fantastic adventure in science and chemistry? I actually have no idea because I didn't look it up. Well, I think I did, but I just can't remember it right now. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I really do like the designs of the backgrounds, though, because it does show you some, like, some chemical compounds, or, like, the composition of chemical compounds. You know, those little maps that they show. I really like to know what they were called, because I don't remember, but it shows you, like, the, various chemicals and compounds. I'll show you guys an image on screen to show you what the hell I'm talking about, because I wish I had known what they were actually called. But yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about Phozon, guys. That's pretty much the whole game. That's pretty much the whole game right there. Okay, why did you not form back? God damn it. Okay, well. Also, is it just me, or does the beta ray kind of look like a pill from Dr. Mario? Am I the only one who sees that? Alright, well, the good news is that I got a high score. Also, I didn't get the chance to talk about the music while I was playing this. Oh yeah, because I have the credits, that's not gonna actually allow me to go back. Okay, well, hang on a second. I guess I might as well talk about the music here for a moment, and I'll let you guys listen to it while I'm just kind of flying around here. So, the music in this game is barely even music. I don't really like it, and there's not a giant selection of music in this game anyway. The music is comprised of mostly random assortments of beeps. Really doesn't feel like there's any rhythm to it whatsoever, and for the most part, it just sounds incredibly annoying, and personally, I do not enjoy it whatsoever. Yeah, not the biggest fan of the sound design here. I mean, this was back at a time when sound design in video games was very minimal anyway, or when very minimal sound design went into games, because, you know, they were just trying to figure all this crap out at the time. This is one of the earlier examples of a puzzle game. I guess you could consider this a sci-fi themed puzzle game as well, given the fact that it is all chemistry themed. Like, see the background right here, for instance, guys, on the first stage? This is what I'm talking about. You see this, like, these patterns right here? You see all the different chemicals that are all attached to one another? I'd have such an easier time describing it if I remembered what these diagrams were called. Well, yeah, diagram was kind of the word I was looking for, but I'm pretty sure they have a specific name. The PlayStation 1 version does allow you to pause, and before I move on to the next game, there is one interesting little thing that I would like to show you guys, if I can actually bring it up on screen here. Okay, yeah, so you have a menu right here, and you can only do this in the PlayStation 1 version. I am going to reset for a moment. I'm just going to skip the startup screen here. So then we can go to an option called Test. Now, Test brings up a test screen, of course, and in the test screen, you can fiddle with a few options. For instance, you can listen to various sounds in the game, you can listen to different sound effects and also the music. It's not possible to scroll back, though, which is kind of a pain. So if you're looking for a particular sound or particular sound effect, if you miss it, you have to scroll all the way through instead of just being able to scroll back to it. So that's just a tiny bit irritating. Now, if I open up the menu again, you'll notice that there is this other option that says Dip SW or Dip Switch. So in addition to arcade game emulation, the PlayStation 1 Namco Museum games also had dip switch emulation. Now, most arcade games at this time had dip switches, and these were little switches that you could turn on and off in order to configure different options on the arcade cabinet. So we have 2 sets of 8 switches right here. Now, some of these switches will allow us to change the rules of the game. For instance, if we turn on switch number 4 right here, we set it to the up option, or we turn it on. As you can see, the rules of the game suddenly change. So you'll get 1 extra life when you reach 30,000 points, and then you'll get a second one at 120,000 points, and then from that point onwards, every 120,000 points you earn, you will receive an additional life. If we turn this off, it just goes back to the normal rule set, which is first extend for 30,000, and then second life at 100,000 points, and then no additional lives after that. If we turn on dip switch number 6, it makes it so that you only need to get 60,000 points for the second life, and we can actually combine this with the 4th switch in order to make it so that we get the first extra life at 20,000 points, and then the second at 80,000. We can configure dip switches 7 and 8 in order to change the amount of lives that we start with. If we turn on number 8, we only start with 1 life. If we turn on number 7, we start with 4. If we turn 7 and 8 on, we will start with 5 lives. Now, on the second set of switches right here, switches number 5, 6, and 7 will configure the rank of the game. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this option is. I did try screwing around with this off-screen, and while I'm still not 100% sure as to what its purpose is, I believe this configures the difficulty of the game. If you turn on switch number 5, it sets the rank to 4, switch 6 will set it to 2, switch 7 will set it to 1, and once again you can combine this in order to increase the rank even further. 5 and 6 will increase the rank to 6, 5 and 7 increases it to 5, and then 5, 6, and 7 will increase it to 7. And for the record, I don't have a clue what the other switches do, because it doesn't seem like they actually do anything. Like the third one does nothing, or doesn't do anything noticeable. This could possibly mess with how the game functions, but I don't know for sure. So just to test this out, we can try setting these switches on right here, and I also don't know what the 8th one on the second set does. We can try setting the rank to 7, and what I noticed by playing the game with the rank set to 7 is that the Atomic appears to be a lot more aggressive. He'll fire alpha and beta rays a lot more often, because normally I don't think he's supposed to fire alpha and beta rays on the first level, but if you set the rank to 7, he fires them almost all the time. So I'm going to set all the switches to that, and then I am going to try to actually load the game here and play it and see if this possibly worked. And I guess we'll also see what the other dip switches did, because I have literally no clue. Because, like I said, they don't seem to do anything noticeable. I'll try and maybe go... Well, actually, no, I am gonna wait for him to spawn, because he should be acting a lot more aggressive here. I'm just gonna follow his movement. Yeah, see? Look at all the alpha and beta rays that he's throwing out there. See? And he wasn't doing that before when I was playing this. So I believe the rank is some sort of, like, difficulty slider. You can configure the dip switches in order to configure the difficulty of the game, essentially. Oh yeah, I should also mention that whenever you complete a level in Phozon, the Atomic will not reset his position, so his position will be wherever he was when you completed the last level, so he doesn't go back to the center, or he doesn't despawn for a moment, which is not a huge deal, because like I said, at the beginning of each round, you get the opportunity to attack him, so... Yeah, as far as I know, this just makes the Atomic more aggressive. I believe this is some sort of difficulty option, if I had to guess. But other than that, I do not fully understand what it does, and I also don't understand why he's suddenly not firing them. Yeah, he's not even like moving around all that much either. Oh jeez. Okay, well, I'm just ditching all this. Later, boys. Later, boys and girls. Okay, well, I couldn't escape from his wrath. Not even that worked. I do like how I explode into a variety of colors, though. I really do like that explosion effect, at least. Also, what is kind of useful is that if you just throw all of the Molochs off of you, yeah, it does increase the yellow meter at the bottom, so you get more molecules back, and more of them will spawn. I believe only 4 Molochs can appear on screen at once, after which no more of them will spawn until you pick up another one. Like, if I attach this one to myself, there should be another one that spawns. Yeah, there we go. And then, when I just throw it off of me, yeah, it disappears, and then the other one that spawns stays here. The Molochs come in yellow, pink, blue, and green. The colors don't mean anything as far as I know. Certain colored Molochs don't have any special attributes. The only one that do have special attributes are the gigantic power molecules, which flash a variety of colors, but yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I'm done for real this time. That is Phozon. That is Phozon, and I think I may have just realized what one of the dip switches did, guys. I can't pause the game anymore. I think one of the dip switches makes it so that you can no longer pause the game. I also noticed that they try to fly towards me, like they want me to attach them to themselves. I'm the great attractor. I'm the ultimate attractor. I have magnetic properties, I guess. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about Phozon, guys. It's not a great puzzle game, in my opinion. It's still an interesting idea, but not executed very well, in my opinion. It really does feel more like a chore to play than it is actually fun. And by the way, there is no time limit in this game, so don't worry about running out of time for any of the levels. The only time that you have to restart the stage is when you run out of molecules. But if you don't pick up any molecules, you don't use up any of them. So you can just kind of camp out here in the corner while the Atomic does whatever. He's not even targeting me anymore. Yeah, he's just kind of staying in his corner, and I'm staying in mine. Well, that's good. That's good. Maybe we can be friends then. Maybe we can be friends. Yeah, it seems like if I just stay up in this corner, he can't even get to me. Actually, the molecules don't even come towards me. Like, they turn away at the very last second. Yeah, even the Atomic turns away. Okay, yeah, so there we go. There's the ultimate cheese tactic, even though it's not particularly useful because it doesn't actually get you anywhere. Okay, well, screw this pile of hot garbage. Let's move on to the next game now. Actually, before I move on to the next game, I just want to bring something up very quickly that I forgot to talk about while I was playing. When I was doing research on this game, I discovered something pretty interesting. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that Phozon was only released in Japan initially. It only made its way to North America in 1996 with the release of one of the Namco Museum compilations. However, I managed to find a flyer from 1983 advertising Phozon in English. I found this flyer on the Arcade Museum website, and according to their webpage, this flyer was published in Europe. And I presume it was published around the same time as Phozon's official launch, because the copyright date says 1983, and it certainly looks like a flyer from the early 80s. What's especially bizarre about this flyer is that apparently Namco were originally advertising this game as an avant-garde type of game. And the wording here is very weird, because it's almost like Namco was trying to advertise Phozon as being some sort of, like, indie art house kind of game. It's incredibly strange, and it makes me wonder what exactly they were going for here. And actually, that does make me wonder if Phozon was originally slated for a European release. I mean, why else would they have published an English flyer for a Japanese-only game? Maybe Namco did originally have plans to bring this game to the West, but they never came to fruition? Maybe because the game was a commercial failure in Japan? Maybe that's why they never decided bringing it over? And also, I have no idea if Phozon was actually successful in Japan. I presume it wasn't. I mean, it was never brought overseas until 13 years later, even though I'm pretty sure that literally 0 people asked for an English localization of Phozon, because I highly doubt anyone in the West even knew what this game was at the time. To be honest, I don't think Namco had any reason to port this. It's not even a good game, so I don't think they had to have included this in Namco Museum. I'm still glad they brought it over anyway, because you guys know that I'm an avid supporter of game preservation, and I'm at least glad that I can actually understand the Japanese text because it's been translated into English now, but still doesn't change the fact that this game is kind of poop. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Let's move on to the next game. So the next game here is called Motos. Now, I did briefly mention Motos in my Namco Museum Battle Collection video from a couple years back. This game was included in the initial release of Battle Collection, so it does in fact exist on a North American Namco Museum compilation. However, I'm not playing this on Namco Museum Volume 3. I had to switch to Namco Museum Encore in order to bring you guys this game. Namco Museum Encore was also released for the PlayStation 1 in 1997. However, this Namco Museum game is a Japan exclusive, so I'm actually playing the Japanese version of Motos. The only reason I'm not playing this on Battle Collection is because, as I mentioned in the Battle Collection video, the arcade emulation doesn't work, at least with the PSP emulator that I was using to play that. It just pangs at the loading screen, as I demonstrated with Bosconian. So instead, I'm once again playing a PS1 port of this. Motos is, once again, another hard game to describe without demonstrating, but basically, you control this bumper car, and you have to bump various enemies off the stage in order to kill them, and you have to be quick about it too, because there's a bunch of meteors that rain down from the sky and try to destroy the stage if you take too long, so you have to try and avoid falling off yourself. It's actually a pretty fun game. It's definitely a lot better than Phozon. So yeah, you also have the title screen right here, where it's just destroying the tiles in the background, so that's what you'll be seeing later on in the game if I end up taking too long. So let's actually go and play this here. Once again, you can just add a random assortment of credits by pressing the select button. Again, I assume it's select. Okay, yeah, spacebar is mapped to select, so that's exactly what I'm doing. Again, there's no point to it whatsoever. Okay, so let's go. We have round 1 right here. Oh yeah, and Motos is also a much longer game than Phozon. It's also a lot more difficult too. But I'm not going to try and play all the rounds here. So you got these little balls that, oh geez, they're kind of trying to avoid me here. Well, I did a piss poor job at it, because now they're dead. Very nice indeed. Okay, yeah, so basically what you gotta do here is that you have an assortment of enemies, you have to try and knock them off the stage, which is easier said than done, because these guys are actually pretty smart. Yeah, those little objects right there, those flashing objects, those are not enemies, they don't move at all, but if you care about getting a high score, you're gonna want to knock them off the edge, because they will award you a ton of points. So this game you have to be a lot more strategic, because as you can see, the enemies here are very intelligent. So you have to try and kind of back them into a corner without getting backed into one yourself. There's also various upgrades that you can collect later on in the game. Oh yeah, it seems like even if the enemy is, if the enemies try to knock these little objects off the stage, that also counts as you getting points too. Yeah, see, they try to avoid you as well. You gonna try and avoid that? Oh yeah, you're kind of smart. You're kind of intelligent. Oh geez, okay. Please die. Please die right about now. Okay, no, oh wow, that's safe. Oh my god, it's throwing 3 at a time. Please and thank you. Okay, goodness gracious me. Okay, avoid the meteors. Yeah, so the battlefield will begin to disintegrate as the meteors rain down on it. So you gotta go and kill these guys really quickly. Now this right here in the center is a spawner, so you need to kill these guys very quickly, otherwise, well, more of them are gonna spawn, and you're not gonna be able to clear the stage as a result. Oh good lord, I'm already getting overwhelmed by this. Yeah, so I picked up a power upgrade. I'll be able to use this once the next round begins here. Yeah, sometimes these guys will knock themselves over the edge as well. They're not really the smartest. They will try and avoid you from time to time, though. Okay, just this little one. This is little one right here. Okay, cool. There we go. Get out of here. Oh, geez, that meteor was trying to ambush me. Yeah, but now I have a power part. So I can select this power part right here, and what it'll do is that it'll give me an increase in power. Now there is also this other upgrade right here. This one will allow me to jump, but I can only use it once the next round begins. Yeah, so we got this little bug right here, has a bunch of spheres orbiting it. Yeah, the designs are not exactly that original, like the enemy designs, I mean. So, as you can see, it also uses up the power part, if you decide to choose it. But this one will allow us to jump, so we can jump over this way in order to collect all of these parts. I almost missed that jump, holy crap, dude. You have to be careful when you jump, however, because as you can see, any tile that you jump on, yeah, it'll cause it to crack. So you can't jump for joy too much in this game, otherwise it will possibly cause you to die. So I can just use all of my power parts right here if I want. I think this will give me like a massive boost of power. At least I think it does. Oh geez, okay, you guys are actually pretty damn fast. Well, get annihilated. Get absolutely obliterated, boys and girls. Yeah, I think that was like a full increase in power. I don't really need to jump right here, though. You can get another power upgrade here. Okay, who exactly are you guys? I actually don't remember seeing you. I think I might have gotten further into the game than I did before. Oh, geez, yeah. You guys are pretty quick. You guys are really light on your feet, aren't you? Yeah, so this is pretty much the entire game, and the music is actually a lot more bearable this time because it sounds like actual music. I definitely like the fanfare that plays on the title screen. Now, what is interesting is that Motos was eventually remade into a 3D game. If any of you guys have played Namco Museum Megamix, I think it was called, or Namco Museum Remix, something along the lines of that, for the Nintendo Wii. Okay, well, I just died because I suck. But yeah, if you ever played Namco Museum Remix or Megamix or whatever it was called for the Wii, then you probably know that they did actually recreate Motos in 3D form, and instead of Motos, which is the name of the bumper car, it instead has Pac-Man controlling Motos. And I have played Namco Museum Remix before, but I don't remember what exactly Pac-Motos was about. Like, I don't remember any of the enemy designs. I don't know if they, like, retained the enemy designs from the original arcade Motos, or if they had brand new designs, or if they introduced some of the Pac-Man enemies. I really have no clue, but if I can find some images of it, maybe I'll show them on screen. Oh my god. I mean, it at least makes it a little bit easier to clear the stage. I mean, I guess one viable strategy would be to just wait until the meteors start raining down, and then I can just push them into the tiny crevices. I'm gonna need this. I'm not gonna be able to use it, though, until the end of the round. Okay, boys and girls, yeah, this is just like good old bumper cars. Bumper cars! Oh, frig. Oh, goodness. Okay, please? You're just kind of bouncing me around. Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord. Okay, well, I just got knocked into that. Great. Well, at least I can use this now. Because what I can do with this is that I can jump over here and jump at... Well, it doesn't matter. I still picked it up anyway, so screw it. I don't need to go back. I don't need to go back. I do have a save state here, actually, that I have a bunch of lives on. It actually starts back at round 8, if I'm not mistaken, so if I do die, then I may actually just go and continue this. Hang on, I'm gonna break some things here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so let's... Okay, I wasn't even paying attention there, because my mind got all sorts of screwy. Okay, fine. I'm gonna quick load this if I can. Wait, do I have... Wait a second. Where are my save states? Where's my save states? Oh, you know what might have happened? I actually had to reinstall my, my PSX emulator here because something strange happened last night where I was trying to load up PSX so I could record this video in particular, but for some reason, the screen... Even though the screen was in focus, for some reason, it wasn't actually appearing on my monitor. The screen was completely invisible, even though I could see it in the taskbar. So I just could not figure out what was going on at all. So then, because I was extremely confused, I decided, well, maybe I can just restart my laptop, because I had actually played R-Rootage a couple hours prior to that, because I just really wanted to play R-Rootage again. It'd been like 3 years, and I thought that maybe because the game defaults to 640 by 480, and when you play it in full screen mode, it actually sets the resolution of my laptop to 640 by 480, then maybe it caused something to get all screwed up with PSX, and maybe I'd be able to fix it with a simple restart, but of course that was completely pointless because it didn't fix it. So then I thought, okay, well maybe I'm gonna have to download some different emulators, so I tried a couple of other emulators, none of them worked for whatever dumbass reason, and then finally I decided, you know what, maybe I can just reinstall PSX, like install a fresh copy, and that's what ended up fixing it. Long story short, I tortured myself for like an hour trying to find a fix for something that had an extremely easy fix to begin with. And after all of that, I was still gonna try and record Phozon and Motos, but I was so angry by the end of it that I just didn't have the motivation. I didn't have the motivation to continue on, to carry on my wayward son. So I just decided to say screw it and just go to bed. Yeah, so, some of the bullshit I have to go through just to simply record a stupid video sometimes. You know, there are some days where I appreciate how far technology has come, but there are other days where I just absolutely despise it with every fiber of my being. Because let's be real here, it's not 100% reliable. Wait, did I actually... Okay, I guess even when I die, if I kill the last enemy, that still counts as a victory. Okay, sure, cool. I'll take it then. Alright, I'll take it. Oh, good god. Oh, please, guys. Oh, well. Fine, you know what? Full power. Full force. fornication. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Wow, okay. I was just able to stay in the center, and he just like absolutely got obliterated. Okay, well there we go, guys. Don't mess with Motos. Also, I think I did get an extra life at some point, but yeah, this is pretty much the entire game, guys. This is Motos. This is very fun. It's a very fun game. Definitely a lot more fun than Phozon, and the music is actually somewhat bearable, so I like this. I really do enjoy this game a lot. It's good. I would go as far as to qualify this as an underrated Namco arcade classic, much like Bosconian. Oh god, please, no guys. Just let me go. Let me go. God, it's very difficult to actually hit these guys over the edge, because not only are they so fast, but they seem to be very heavy, so it can get kinda hard to, like, actually push these guys sometimes. Oh my god. You know what? Let's just see how long I can survive for. Let's just see how long I can survive for. Okay, well, those guys didn't survive for, like, any amount of time. I want to see how long I could stay alive for by just having the meteors rain down on me. Yeah, so I don't really know what else to say about this, guys. That's pretty much it for Motos as well. I would like to maybe show off some of the other rounds if I can, but I mean, I don't really have anything more to say about this. Oh yeah, it's also possible for some of the meteors to just miss altogether. Okay, this, actually, I wanted to show off. Giant, like, bowling balls of some kind? Yeah, you're gonna need, like, a lot of power for this. Yeah, also what makes this a real pain in the ass. You got spawners. Oh yeah, you got all sorts of spawners here. Oh jeez. Oh, whoa. What is even going on? Oh, wow. Just getting knocked around like a pinball, for goodness sakes. What is even happening? Here, maybe I can jump. I can like throw you guys down. Throw you guys down into the abyss. Does that work? Oh god. Or is that going to work, I should say. Here, just break stuff. Break the thing. Break the tiles. Oh god. I'm really gonna, like, need this here. Okay, I don't know if that's, like, large enough to push you down into it, though. Oh my god. Yeah, you can jump an infinite amount of times here. Oh boy. Oh boy, can I land on the spawner? Doesn't seem like I can, actually. Yeah, I get kind of pushed off. What did I even say there? What was that stutter? What was that stutter? Oh, okay. Well, that was... I would say that was still a pretty good performance overall. That's about as far as I can get. Yeah, sure. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. And of course, just because I would like to do this now, yes, just like Namco Museum Volume 3, we do have dip switch emulation here. These ones act a little bit differently though, because turning on the first one will actually cause the entire game to reset and bring up the test screen. So once again, this test screen, you can mess around with a few options. Again, it is possible to change the rank, and also, the Motos is the amount of lives that you have. You can change the extend. I don't actually remember what most of these do, so how about I just try messing around with this a little bit. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Turning the second one on, yeah, 1 coin, 2 credits. So I presume if you insert 1 coin, that'll award you 2 credits, so you can play for twice the amount of time, or 2 coins, 1 credit, or even 3 coins, 1 credit. Yeah, if you want to scam even more people out of their hard-earned quarters, I guess. Setting this to 4 will configure the amount of Motos you have to 5. Switches 6 and 7 appear to change the extend, which is, again, the score that you need to obtain, the amount of points, until you're awarded an additional life. Normally, you get the first life at 10,000 points, the second at 30,000, and then every additional life at 50,000 points. If you turn on switch number 6, however, you only get the first life at 20,000 points, and then every additional life you receive at 50,000, and then switch number 7 makes it so that you get the first extra life at 30,000, and then each additional life at 70,000. And again, you can combine the switches. If you turn number 6 and 7 on, first life you get at 20,000, and then the second one at 70,000, and then you will not be awarded an additional life beyond that. Switch number 8 enables and disables the attract sound. This is basically the music that plays during the game's demo. If you don't want it to play, well, just enable the 8th dip switch, and it won't. Now, unlike Phozon, there's only 2 different ranks that you can configure in Motos. You can switch between either rank A or rank B, and I don't actually know what rank B does, so I'd like to test this out. I presume this is just gonna make the game a lot more difficult, but that's what I have the extra lives for. I don't know. It seems pretty normal right now, actually, so I'm not entirely sure what the difference is here. Oh, okay, I see. You can use these little like tetrahedrons as a shield. You just get ricocheted off of that, huh? I see how it is. I see how that works. Here, let me just get you out of the picture. And now you can just go. You can just go. Okay, yeah, they do actually appear to be a bit heavier. Yeah, they are actually a bit more difficult to to move out of the way. Okay, so I guess they all have, like, additional weight added to them now? If I had to guess? Other than that, I don't really see a difference. Okay, well, I see no difference in between rank A and B, and also, because this is the PlayStation 1 version, I can pause the game. And even though this is the Japanese version of Motos, I mean, there's no text to translate here, because everything is already in English. And of course, I also found some flyers for Motos that I could just throw on screen right now. They're not all that interesting, in my opinion. These flyers I also found on Arcade Museum, but they're all in Japanese. I couldn't find an English version. I think all these flyers do is explain to you how to play the game. I mean, that's pretty much what the Phozon flyer teaches you as well, but what's interesting about that flyer is that it's in English, despite the fact that it was only available in Japan. That's Phozon and Motos, guys. Just some interesting arcade games that I wanted to show off to you guys today, all made by Namco, again. Phozon, in my opinion, is not a great game. It just feels very tedious to play. There are way better puzzle games out there that you could be playing. Motos, on the other hand, is actually pretty fun. I genuinely like Motos. It's definitely a lot more challenging, and it does require a bit of strategizing in order to beat, and not only that, but it has way more levels than Phozon. There's various parts that you can pick up which provide upgrades to Motos, and the game allows you to select between whatever power-ups you picked up before the round begins, so you have to decide which upgrades you're going to use, like how many power parts are you willing to waste just to give yourself additional boosts of power. Are you being pitted against very lightweight or heavyweight enemies? Maybe some parts of the field will be floating off in the distance on its own, like in round 8, and maybe it'll have a power part situated on it. Maybe you can apply wings to Motos so that it can fly all the way over there. Of course, don't be like me when I first played round 8, because the ledges are not that forgiving in this game. When you reach the edge of a platform, you have to jump immediately. There's no leeway. But with all that aside, it's definitely the superior game, so I would recommend you just go and check out Motos instead. Phozon definitely has an interesting concept, but I feel like it was executed very poorly. Motos is a different story, on the other hand. It's very fun and challenging, and it understands that time is a very valuable asset, so if you take too long to kill your targets, the battlefield will start getting bombarded, and it will begin disintegrating, and if you don't want to risk falling into the void, you better move it. But other than that, it doesn't actually have a time limit. It's more a question of how long can you survive while the entire field is disintegrating around you. Hell, I think a viable strategy to beating Motos would be to just wait for the meteors to come crashing down, so that the enemies can end up getting destroyed. You don't even have to do anything, you can have the game itself help you out. So I guess a pacifist route of this game could potentially be possible. So if you want to play Phozon and Motos, well, there's a bit of an issue with that. Well, not a big issue with Motos. You can, of course, pick up Namco Museum Battle Collection if you want to play that. If you want to play a more updated version of Motos with 3D visuals and also Pac-Man as a playable character, you can, of course, pick up Namco Museum Remix on the Wii. And actually, I just realized this right now, guys. Namco Museum Remix and Megamix are actually two separate games. Megamix is essentially an updated version of Remix that came out a few years later, but as far as I know, the only difference between Megamix and Remix is that there are some more arcade titles that you can play. Like, there's a very specific section of the game you can go to play a bunch of emulated arcade titles, and even though Motos was remade specifically for Remix, the original arcade release was not playable in that version of the game. It was made available in Namco Museum Megamix, however, so if you want a more recent compilation that you can play Motos on, there is the Megamix installment of Namco Museum. Funny enough, Namco did also create an iOS and Android port of both Phozon and Motos. They were both featured in an application that Namco launched for those platforms sometime in, I think 2012? Well, I think the iOS version launched in 2012, and then it came out for Android in 2015. However, Namco have since discontinued that app, and they actually removed it from both the iTunes Store and Google Play in 2016. So that app is no longer available for download, which means you can no longer play Phozon and Motos on your mobile device. It was definitely possible at one point, but unfortunately, it no longer is, and I'm not entirely sure why. So your best bet for playing Motos is to either get Namco Museum Battle Collection or Megamix. Phozon, on the other hand, you do have Namco Museum Volume 3 for PlayStation 1 if you can pick up a physical copy of that somewhere, because it did come out in North America. But Phozon has not been featured on any other compilation since, aside from the mobile thing Namco released, but like I said, you can't download that anymore. So getting that old compilation from 1996 is your best bet. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave things there for now, guys. Phozon and Motos. Phozon is a bit of a turd. Not an overly smelly turd, but, you know, it has a noticeable odor. Motos, on the other hand, is fantastic. I really love Motos. I do think this is one of Namco's more underrated titles. A diamond in the rough, if I do say so myself. Anyway, thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Later!